and then she would do it. But she would get the audience to be an accomplice. Louis C.K., whether you like him or not, he's a genius.
Dude, he brought up Louis C.K., guys, and he's talking to a female comedian about, like, let me tell you how great Louis C.K. is. Like, if you're lucky, Miss Female Comedian, you might get an opening slot. Get to watch Louis C.K. give you the 5-finger comedy show in the back room. Like, dude, what? What are they doing, bro?
Hello, Mr. Schneider.
Thank you.
My name is Jackie Jones.
Hey.
I am a current UC Berkeley student. I am actually the co-president of one of the comedy clubs on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I grew up watching you, all of your movies, and now I've actually just transitioned to watching you more on Kill Tony. So
Thank you.
I've seen you on like a very PG level with Big Daddy, and now I'm hearing you with Tony Hinchcliffe saying things I probably shouldn't say right now.
Yeah.
But,
I know. Charlie hated my language. He hated it. He told me that too, but he still loved me.
Oh, dude. Dude, he hated my language, but he loved me. Oh, dude, such a MAGA weirdo. I mean, dude, the guy has no audience. Like, you know, he was like, we can do it. And that's all he was. He was a face in the crowd in the Adam Sandler movies. Dude, he hasn't had a career in like 20 years, bro.
He invited me because he knew that I was getting laughs. But thank you.
And I guess my question for you is that as a young female comedian, I think I wouldn't consider myself someone that gets easily offended. I think a lot of people tell me I should be getting offended for things that are jokes that are made at my expense that I, as a woman, right? I think they're funny, right? But I want to know, are there things that we shouldn't be joking about, something that I could joke about that you couldn't, or...
You're right.
Here
I
we
think
go.
that there's any rules set in stone. But I do think that if you do a joke and people don't laugh, that you get it. But I also think it's our job to challenge people. I always say, like, comedy and society and cultural mores they're shifting.
But do not joke about certain people or they will cancel the shit out of you, right? There are things that are off limits.
They don't stay, you know, it's like the tides. They go up and they go down. And it's our job to find out where it's going up and then to push it a little bit. If I don't challenge my audience, then I'm not doing my job. Like tonight, I really think that some of that stuff, we have to challenge it. We have to do. Like that gentleman challenged me. And what he did by calling me a retard was he brought me to defend that position and explain something. And it was true.
Dude, we missed somebody who got on the mic and called him the arse. Dude, look at what he said there, bro. Like that guy who called me the arse. Dude, he's like giving the guy props. Like that guy's really challenging our outlook.
Up and they go down. And it's our job to find out where it's going up and to push it a little bit. If I don't challenge my audience, then I'm not doing my job. Like tonight, I really think that some of that stuff, we have to challenge it. We have to do. Like that gentleman challenged me. And what he did by calling me a retard was he brought me to defend that position and explain something. And it was true. I was incorrect in a statement, but I'm glad that it brought up people talking because I was able to talk about, just like Frank talked about earlier.
Dude, he's basically saying the guy called him the arslur and he was right, dude, is what he just said. Dude, these people are so funny.
We're able to get to discussions by stuff, sometimes we're making a mistake that we can talk about, and millions of people saw that tweet because what I was able to get to is that we have sick children, and we have to really worry about the health of all of you people.
Dude, isn't it funny, though, that he's like saying we have sick children when his party, the people he voted for, are like trying to rip healthcare away from children? Like, how do they do that? How do they participate in a world where they're like, man, we're so concerned about the sick children. You just pulled cancer funding for kids. I know, but I'm so concerned about the sick children. We're so concerned that we ended cancer funding for children, and we took away SNAP for children, and we won't feed the children in schools, and we're trying to eradicate the health care for the children, and we won't pass gun laws to protect the children. But man, I'm so broken up about the children. Here, will you buy my Trump Bible, please? Will you buy my Trump 2028 hat for the children? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like, how? Do they wake up in the mirror and look in the mirror and just be like, man, something doesn't look right. Something doesn't feel right about what I am doing because I'm talking about how important it is to take care of kids. And then I'm doing nothing but strip away anything that helps them. Or if they're gay or trans, trying to eradicate them. And like, you know what I mean? Do they ever stop and be like, God, something about my worldview just doesn't feel right, you know?
And so, but yeah, I think there's stuff that is too far, but you got to push things a little bit. And you'll find out like really great comedians who are the polar opposite of my political, like 𝗙𝗍𝗹𝗏. She would say things and she would couch them. And I learned from her. Crazy liberal. I love her. She's a crazy liberal. And she would do things like saying, I would never say a racist joke because I think it's awful. And then she would do it. But she would get the audience to be an accomplice. Louis C.K., whether you like him or not, he's a genius.
Dude, he brought up Louis C.K., guys. Dude, he's now hailing Louis C.K., and he says whether you like him or not, Louis C.K. is the guy who took up-and-coming female comedians on the road with him, and then he forced them to watch him off in his fucking dressing room, and they had to do that night in and night out, or they'd lose their opening slots. So he basically gave away opening slots to young up-and-coming women comedians and then sexually abused them because they needed to have those shows for their career. And he's talking to a female comedian about, like, let me tell you how great Louis C.K. is. Like, if you're lucky, Miss Female Comedian, you might get an opening slot. Get to watch Louis C.K. give you the 5-finger comedy show in the back room. Like, dude, what? What are they doing, bro? Like, what is going on, guys? This is MAGA, the party of Christianity.
I learned from her. Crazy liberal. I love her. She's a crazy,
wow.
And she would do things like saying, I would never say a racist joke because I think it's awful. And then she would do it. But she would get the audience to be an accomplice.
Wow.
Louis C.K., whether you like him or not, he's a genius. He's able to talk about horrible things because he talks about, he gets the audience to question their own sense of morality through his own lack of morality.
Dude, you hear there's like 5 people who clapped, bro.
He attacks himself, and then we all laugh and question it. So in that sense, I think you should go for it. Don't be afraid to push things. Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Schneider, may I shake your hand?
Yes, come on.
What the fuck, bro? He actually brought up Louis C.K., dude. I mean, isn't that wild? Like, guys, that is wild, bro. That is like, you know what I'm saying? That is like me, dude, that's like me going to speak to a 4-H club of young ladies that are trying to like do something with their lives. And I'm like, let me tell you about Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was really dedicated to his studies. Dude, Ted Bundy like studied so hard. And he was a devoted stepfather figure to his girlfriend's daughter. Dude, what the fuck are these guys doing, boss? Holy shit, man. Like no moral compass, no fucking concept of the shit they're doing, bro. I mean, that's how you know, I guess that's how you know your career is in the tank, right? When you find yourself telling a young woman comedian about how great Louis C.K. was, you are like, there's no bottom from there, bro. You are officially at the bottom. From there, everything is a climb, dude. Dude, and what was his thing with him like standing up? He stands up and he kind of moves forward and then he goes back. Like, why? What was the dramatic standing thing, boss? Holy shnikes. Dude, you're right. They have normalized SA and harassment and the mistreatment of women. See, what's funny about this, guys, is I get this all the time when I'm in the comments, like TPUSA, like Charlie Kirk fans. When they hear me say things about him, they'll tell you, like, he wasn't a misogynist. But it's like, guys, when you look at, like, TPUSA has an event for college kids, and their keynote speaker is talking about the genius of a abusive man to the young woman comedian. That's the misogyny, guys. Okay, even if Rob Schneider doesn't come out and say, I believe in SAing women, or I believe that women are harmful, he's projecting that when he's saying, yeah, this really rapey guy who abuses young female comedians is so great. That is misogyny, okay? You don't have to come out and say, I hate women, right? It's like you idolize people who harm women, okay? The people that harm women are your fucking idols. And then you chase after ghosts and you accuse people of harming women who don't do shit to them. And you know what it is, though, guys? I don't even think they're trying to normalize it. I don't think they're consciously like, ooh, I'm going to go normalize SA. I think the problem is, guys, is to them, SA is not a deal breaker, right? It's not a deal breaker. If they like somebody and they find out that guy grapist, they're not going to think less of him for being a grapist, because graping is something that they don't really think is that big a deal. They think, oh yeah, that shit happens, right? It was probably misconstrued, right? They don't look at it as a deal breaker. It's to them, it's just an acceptable, yeah, boys will be boys, grapers will be grapers, right? You know, because for them, I think taking power over someone is a forgivable, right? They forgive if you take power over someone against their will, right? I mean, right is normalized to them, yeah, because they submit to an invisible God who is all powerful. That, oh shit, he can do anything. He can ruin their lives or pitch them into hellfire, and they just have to piously, oh, give me more, Father, you know? And like, yeah, I think most normal people don't do that, okay? We're not going to submit to that shit. We're going to be like, yeah, screw you. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.